Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from bettergoods, we have a conversation piece here. We have the spicy pineapple habanero barbecue sauce. So bettergoods is a line from Walmart. Now, Walmart does have an in-store brand called Great Value. I don't know if this is meant to be a higher end in-store line like the private selection in the Kroger stores. They also have a line called Smart Way, which is the kind of cheap stuff. I have done one of those hot sauces as well. I don't know of any Great Value hot sauce that is doing anything like this. But so bettergoods either is going to replace Great Value, or it is the subline that is actually meant to be the higher end in-store subline. And what's interesting about the private selection is that often the private selection stuff will be more expensive than some of the name brands. That is not the case with this one, but I don't know if that's where they're headed or if they're trying to replace it because Great Value doesn't have the greatest name. I don't know. I'm not sure, and I didn't bother to look into it prior to doing this because there's not a lot of Walmart stuff that I really intersect with particularly. So I do find this really entertaining though. So, and this is what gave me the impression they may be trying to go for a higher end thing. We're calling it handcrafted. So there's so many buzzwords that companies will put on labels that are completely meaningless. This is probably one of them. Because if you're Walmart and you have a bazillion brick and mortars across the country, how is anything, a single thing in your subline, going to be handcrafted? By which we're meant to infer handmade. My guess is that the recipe is probably something that's handcrafted way on down, back down the line, but that is completely meaningless. And I get really tired of marketing. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes this is just meaningless. Like, why is that really going to be the criteria of whether somebody buys this barbecue sauce over another, or is it going to be something like this? Pineapple habanero, where we don't see a lot of barbecue sauces that are sort of angling at that particular flavor profile. So ingredient wise, we're not going to go through the entire thing as we usually don't with non-hot sauce products, but we do see habanero peppers. So habanero peppers are there, dehydrated habanero peppers. So by that, I'm going to assume they mean a powder, like powdered habanero. We've got natural smoke flavor, which is meaningless. Pineapple juice concentrate. Do we have any actual pineapples? I think probably not. We don't have high fructose corn syrup, which I do appreciate. We have corn syrup solids, and I hope that's not the same thing. We do have natural flavors. So it is possible there's extract in here as well. I don't know. I figured since I started doing barbecue sauces this year, I figured that maybe I'd try to find a few more that might be somewhat accessible. So also, I did a barbecue The official barbecue day, the National Barbecue Day, as it were, is May 16th, and there is a barbecue sauce I've already done for that, and you can check out that video if you're interested. This one I'm putting up on the second National Barbecue Day, which is, in my mind, probably the one more celebrated by more people, if I had to guess, and that is, of course, July 4th, which is generally a day of massive barbecuing for folks, I think, barring inclement weather. What I think is kind of interesting here is we have, oh, this is done by weight. This isn't even done by fluid ounces. It's not done by volume, it's done by weight, which is, and then look at how much space is in there. Oh, can you guys see that? Yeah, look, you can see all the way, see over here, how much air there is in this. And you can see it here as well. Yeah. Yeah. It does smell quite fruity, though. It does smell. I'm getting the fruit out of this for sure. And I don't know if this will be any good. If it is, that'd be kind of cool. But I don't know that will be the case. Like I said, I don't interact with Great Value on, I don't think, really any level most of the time. Like if it's a picnic or something like that, and I happen to need paper plates, maybe, or these spoons are not Great Value spoons. These are actually ones I get from Kroger. But as I don't go to Walmart an awful lot, honestly, I never have. And I find a lot of their product lines to be suspect, is probably the most diplomatic way I can put that. So I think they're good for other things, like, maybe appliances or something like that, or possibly even like name brands in the frozen food section. Although I've noticed that they were a couple bucks cheaper for stuff like chicken tendies a while ago, but they managed to catch right back up. And it sort of, to me, calls into question, is like, well, what's the point of going there then if you're just going to be the same? I might as well just go to the grocery store. So, anyway, you can see it's a very thick, very, very, very thick sauce here. Very slow flow, which is honestly kind of what you want in a barbecue sauce, because that should help it stick to the food at least a little bit. But let's get into the taste test here and see if we have something worthwhile or not. There's almost an artificiality to it. There's a nice back end of heat, though. I'm giving this a legit one. Like, I'm surprised, actually, at how much heat there is. I don't like what they did with this pineapple juice. By concentrating it, I think it just really contributes to like a really artificial sort of, almost a pineapple candy sort of flavor that I don't like very much. Yeah. Pineapple Jolly Rancher barbecue sauce. There is a surprising amount of heat, though. I actually am pretty pleasantly surprised. So maybe what they did was they got the dried pods, and they didn't actually grind it into like a dust, because I thought I saw some seeds in there as well too. So the heat is by far the most impressive thing. It could be very possibly, though, that Natural Flavors is an extract. I'm not getting that flavor yet, but it is very, very, that just the hyper sweetness of that pineapple is making it hard to get by a little bit of that stuff. I did get an immediate heat, and I'm getting sort of a mouthfeel heat that I suspect it probably does have extract. I'm just going to be completely honest. I did get a bit of the molasses, and I did get not a lot of the, just a tad of the smoke. I really don't like what they did with pineapple in this. That is not good. There's a flavor note I'm trying to pick out in there. I'm going to try to do this one more time. Oh, man. Do I want to even do this? And here's what I'm thinking, because there's a note in there that I'm getting little hints of. It's not as abrasively metallic-y as most of the extract when they tend to be in stuff is. But something is off with this sauce. I can't quite put... Yeah, so there's the heat. I'm almost 100% sure there's an extract in here. God, that is horrendous. Okay, so by itself, plain like this, it is not good. The flavor is actually awful. There is a very appreciable degree of heat in there. I'll give it a legit 1. I'm actually surprised at how much heat there is in this. But again, I mean, extracts, you know, you can... I'm getting a little bit of an esophageal burn too as well. So that typically only happens with me if there is at least extract present. So I'm going to say there is definitely extract in this. Of course there is. What's not there is any habanero flavor though. Well, I bought, most of the time I don't use barbecue sauce out of the bottle anyway. I use it on the grill. So what I'm going to be doing is, and I'm talking about it rather than showing you because I got so chicken, when I went to the store today, chicken is out of hand. Like chicken is right out of hand. And so the chicken I was going to get wasn't on sale, but they did have, for basically about the same amount of money, they had a deboned and de-skinned chicken thighs. So I picked up some of those, and that is what I'm going to be grilling. But I'm grilling it the day after I'm opening this bottle. So when you see me drag in that plate of chicken, when you see me reach over and grab it and pull this plate over, just know it is a day between opening this bottle to now. So fresh off the grill, we have those boneless, skinless thighs I was telling you about that sat overnight. And I'll be honest, I opened the bag today to throw these on the grill. Get you a look at those. I opened the bag to throw them on the grill today, just a little bit ago, and I immediately began to question whether or not I was going to finish this out. So I think it's interesting that we have corporations, McDonald's as well, with their Minecraft Nether Flame sauce. There's a video for that if you're interested in the restaurants playlist. It's interesting to me that corporations are using extract in a much more bold sense now to deliver heat. Now, for me, I think that obviously I wish I wouldn't do that for a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't think the flavor is generally very good. But second of all, it doesn't really represent the expectations you might have for habanero. Like if this was actual habanero that they had used solely, rather than an extract in there as well, I think this would have been just more representative of that. It's more what you expect. And the problem, I think, is that when you start playing around with extracts and stuff like that, you can definitely have more heat. But I also, you know, as a chili head, I think part of the danger is you can very easily turn people away who might be otherwise chili curious. And that is not, from my perspective, the good move. So anyway, let's see how it is. It seems to have lost quite a bit of depth doing it that way. I think there is a little bit of a tenderizing effect on the meat, though. That's cool. This does need more depth. It's not, I don't think, combating the almost candy sugar level of the pineapple. So I think I'm going to play around with this some more. What I think it needs is more smoked flavor. I think that's a big component of hot sauces in general, or not hot sauces, barbecue sauces in general. And this sauce suffers for the lack of it. This is another one where I think the idea is better than the outcome. I was debating trying this on, or at least getting some pineapple slices to try this on, to try grilling it with that. But I'm not sure that actually would add anything to that. I do love grilling pineapple. Although sometimes I just wind up thinking it's overly messy. But I do like the flavor of it. As long as you're careful not to over salt it, that's the secret. And depending on how ripe it is, you may need to dust in a little bit of brown sugar too. Usually what I'll do, right? I don't know if I've done that for a video. I might need to do that at some future point, actually. Show you how to prepare a pineapple for grilling. At least the way I do it. Here's a problem, I think, when you have a barbecue sauce that doesn't have a lot of richness to the flavor, is that it can get lost a little bit. It's not bad, but I do need to tinker with this some more. I'm going to try, so I do have some smoked ghost pepper powder, and I do have smoked habanero flakes. So I think I'm going to try the smoked habanero flakes first. See if I can, I might actually just throw those in there while it's sitting. Because I don't like this sauce as it is by itself. It's not something I find super favorable. I'm not sure how well it's going to work though in the bottle. I don't know if I'll be able to actually incorporate it like that, come to think of it. What I might need to do is do it up in a dish and then use that as the marinade, which is probably what I will wind up doing. But I've got another, I mean, you can, let me show you. Let me show you. So I've got the full Maillard effect here. It's just... This is, I mean, I guess this is just kind of a strange product. That's where I think I'm going to put this. It is odd. I like it conceptually, but man, they completely... I think completely missed the mark of having something good here. I won't be surprised if this one goes away because I don't know who this is for. Like, is there a clamor for somebody to have like Jolly Rancher sweetness into their barbecue sauce with tropical fruit? I can't imagine that's the case. So, marinating those four, there's where the level is after I tried it yesterday also. So, by my estimation, there's another at least one, for sure one, maybe two. So, I can try it next, which I will do next actually, the next time I try this. I am going to try it with the smoked habanero flakes that I have. There is a video up for that as well, by the way, if you want to see that. That is in the Everything Else playlist. Now, it does show up here and there on some other ones as well. There's also a smoked ghost powder that I have. There's a video for that as well. That is also in the Everything Else playlist. And you can see me tinkering around with that, plus one other powder that proved to be something other than what I thought it was. So, okay. So, as others have noted here and there in the video sphere of the chili head world, sometimes extract will do funny things when you add it to food or when you cook it. So, out of the bottle, this was a ready, steady, legit one. No question in my mind. Very, very definite one is what I gave it out of the gate. And then marinating the chicken overnight, and it did not smell good when I opened it, like at all. I was like, oh, I don't even know if I want to cook this. It had a sort of almost chemically foulness to. I just keep going. I don't mean to pick on Jolly Ranchers. I know people like them, and that's fine. You like what you like, but to me, that sort of artificial fruit thing, that's what I got when I opened up the bag. But having had those there, so with this cooked onto food and grilled up nice and everything, I'm going to say this is actually more of, these gloves are filthy. I get rid of these. This is more honestly of a, of a default one at this point. So that's interesting to me. So out of the bottle, it's a one, legit one. Where it's actually on food and stuff, it is actually cut in half. If not even a little bit less than that, which is kind of interesting because I still have, like, I've got the remnants of an extract sort of, it's very light, very faint, but it's sort of an extract surge in my mouth right now. And to give you an idea of what that is, if you have, like, for instance, the Samyang Original Bulldog, after you're finished eating that, you know, probably about 5 minutes later when everything is much more tamed down, you sort of have the lingering remnants, but it's everywhere in your mouth. And that's kind of what I have here. It is not like peppers, I guess is the way that I'll put that. But so this is another one where I appreciate the effort. Flavor-wise, this is a total miss. This is a bomb as far as flavoring goes. And I kind of thought that would be the case when I opened it up and I had it. Cooking with barbecue sauce is not going to fix it if it's not good to begin with. And actually, a lot of the times when I was using barbecue sauce in the past, I would have to add stuff to it. Like, I would add like a dark brown sugar sometimes, or I might add chipotle to it, just to try to give it more depth, a little bit more smoke. Because unless you're actually using it on a smoker, when you cook with it, you start to get some diminishment of those parts. And to me, that's really what I want in a barbecue sauce. And cooking it, you can lose some of those attributes. But it still has to be good out of the bottle. Like, if you, I don't know, pick like Casey's Masterpiece or like a Bullseye or whatever, you can get a sense of it out of the bottle. And then you if you cook a lot anyway, you'll know what you need to do to modify it to get to where you want it to be flavored. This one, since I'm testing it, I'm doing a review here in this video. I did not modify this at all, but there is 0.0000000 chance I will attempt that again using this in any context without trying to bend it to something a little bit more flavorful. And candy, I think candy flavorings are light in general. They're not meant to be, like I said, deep or rich particularly. And just what they did with this, I just don't understand why they chose the route they did. Like, just use real stuff. It says, I said this before, but it does kind of piss me off a little bit. It says handcrafted. The second ingredient is a concentrate. So you're just dumping shit together then? That's what you call handcrafted? There's no artisan finesse to any of this stuff. It's just... It's disappointing is what it is. This could have been good. But again, I mean... I don't expect much out of Walmart, and they deliver to my expectations pretty consistently. So, including with this. But like I said, if you don't cook it, you can at least get somewhat of a heat charge out of it, for whatever that's worth. So, but I think we're going to leave it right there. This is the bettergoods. What are we calling this? Spicy pineapple habanero barbecue sauce. Now go forward in peace to serve the flame.